Hello everybody, today we're going to be reviewing the Hunger Games movie. And this is going to be a pretty lengthy review, so prepare yourselves.
Yeah. It's going to contain some spoilers.
It will contain some spoilers, but I'll let you know before it happens.
Like right now.
No. So the first thing we're going to do is talk about things we liked, and this is going to be from a perspective from someone that has read the book.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also, we're going to go by scenes we liked, scenes we didn't like, things that should have been there that, could have been there but weren't, and whatever. So
yeah, and then we'll move on to the characters.
Then we'll move on to characters. So anyway, the first thing, maybe we'll go that we liked. Really liked from, this is from more like a book person that has read it. They actually show the uprising in District 11. That was pretty cool. I gotta say that I really, in the book, you really don't, you don't see what goes on, you kind of hear about it. So that's pretty cool. They actually get to see it, and it was done. It was one of those scenes where it was a real treat for someone that read the book to actually see it.
And there were a lot of scenes that I liked, but like, I liked some of the scenes that weren't in the book, like you said, like this one. And right after this scene, we see like a quick cut of the head game maker going down the stairs in a nervous way, and that's it. He doesn't talk, he doesn't say anything, but you know that Katniss is in trouble because you know that she did this. It wasn't because of nothing, it was because she connected with Bruce, she showed another district kindness. Wait, I just realized.
What?
They didn't send her bread.
Yeah.
That would be so cool.
It's okay, they did this thing.
Yeah, they did. Okay, that's okay.
That's how they kind of showed that message. And otherwise, I don't know. Anyway, so that's cool. Definitely like that. One thing, so let's do something we didn't like.
Wait, let's talk about all the things we did like first.
Okay, we'll talk about things we did like first. Okay, so, another thing we liked is, we'll do things that they included that were in the book. Things too, President Snow actually talks to the head game maker. You actually get to see their conversations. So that was pretty cool. We don't really see that in the book. We vaguely hear about the head game maker.
And we vaguely hear about President Snow.
Yeah, at least in the first book. So it's kind of cool to see the characters actually interact. And that scene about how hope is stronger than fear, and only a little bit of hope is good, but a lot of hope is dangerous. That was a pretty good line. That was pretty cool. It was pretty badass.
I'm proud of them for including that. And also, I think it's really cool that, well, this is just kind of an overall thing, but I thought the fashion and everything was really cool. The makeup, like how they're so, like, obsessed with, like, looking good and all these unimportant things. They don't even care that the Hunger Games is killing people. And the president, who has the most power, who can have anything he wants, doesn't. He doesn't wear any makeup. He looks like a normal old dude, and his hobby is doing something manual. Like, he could have, if he likes roses, he could have like mutant roses that are like singing slaves delivered to him, like this. But he doesn't. He's just taking care of normal roses. So I think that's pretty cool that the president doesn't actually care for the culture that he's created, showing that that's just a huge distraction.
Also shows control too. So that's pretty. That was definitely worthwhile.
Yeah.
So another scene I'd say we liked. Let's see. Was there anything else? I don't think so. That was all terrible. I'm joking.
The head game maker.
Yes.
How he died.
Yeah. Okay, that was a spoiler.
I warned them. I warned them.
Okay, but the head game maker, in the book we don't really get to see anything like that. We don't get to see, we hear that he dies in the second book, but we don't really get to see how he dies or what happens, so it was pretty cool to see that. And I liked how Haymitch's line was, they don't take these things lightly, and then they show him going into a room alone, and you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and, well, no, that's the end. We're not going to talk about the end. Okay. I like how he's nervous. I like how you can see that he's just like, oh, what's happening? And then he tries to open the door and it doesn't open.
And it kind of foreshadows when the President Snow says to him, do you know why we have a winner? Do you know why we have a winner for hope? So it's kind of like saying another thing too, that there has to be a winner and things like that. So it's kind of interesting that if we don't have a winner, that's bad. That means no hope, which isn't good. But because people are gonna, maybe if they feel like they're pushed in the corner, they're gonna actually rebel. But if they have a little bit of hope, it actually makes them not stay. It makes them stay in that corner in the hope that they can get out of that corner through that little hope.
2 winners is too much hope.
So the fact that they did, so that's why I got killed. So anyway, another thing that I liked in this movie, definitely just the scenes. I actually get to see the scene where the pig Apple gets shot by Katniss. That was pretty cool. The action, pretty intense. Definitely feel pretty. It's pretty bloody. You know, it's definitely, you have this feeling of, oh, this is, is this a big deal or whatever? Because it makes it seem like it's not a big deal before the Hunger Games. And I try to have that mindset of someone that hasn't read it or whatever, and see if it's going to be a big deal. The first 10 seconds of the actual Hunger Games, pretty brutal. A lot of craziness going on, kids dying left and right. So,
Yeah. Another thing that was really cool that they showed is the control room, and how, like, these people, like, it's exactly how I pictured it. Like, they're just in an air-conditioned room, and everything is good, and they're launching these deadly weapons, and they're, like, calm about it. It's like they're, like, typing up a boring document for their job. And it's really cool when they actually have emotions. I love, like, all the emotions that would piss you off. Like, there's this woman who summons up... Spoiler alert. Who summons up a dog that's gonna go tear some bitches up. And the head game maker's like, oh, that's good. And she's like a little kid who, like, did her project. She just smiles at him like, oh, yes, thank you. I did my job. And then at one point, they have, like, a genuine feeling about someone. And it's weird because, like, they're so emotionless. And now, like, they were looking up at the screen like, wow, what's going to happen next? Or, wow, that just happened. That was kind of funny and good to see.
Yeah, the audience laughed there too. So, yeah, those were the good scenes.
There were a lot more.
There were a lot more, but let's move on to the bad ones now.
Okay.
This is going to be also, like I said, this is perspective, someone who read the book, some disappointing things that didn't include. Let's start off with Haymitch. They didn't show some really good scenes of the Haymitch. We'll talk about the characters a little bit more and how I was kind of disappointed with the Haymitch, the character in the movie. But they didn't show scenes like where he fell off the stage, where, they had this moment, the training. I understand that they were kind of rushed. That's one of the bad things I'd say. The movie seems rushed, so if you haven't read the book, you'd probably go like, well, this is going really fast. So it's mainly because there's a lot of stuff that happens. I mean, this whole movie is like almost 2.5 hours long. So, I wouldn't mind if it was longer.
Yeah. It wouldn't actually feel longer because, I don't know, it's interesting, at least to me.
So,
Haymitch?
Yeah,
Haymitch. Anything else about Haymitch?
Oh, we'll go into that later with the characters.
Okay.
Some scenes that... Oh, go ahead.
I don't know. No.
Okay.
Continue.
So some scenes that they really should have included that they didn't were... the big one... What was the biggest one again?
Well, the Mockingjay. Did we talk about
the
that?
Mockingjay. They didn't include any explanation of the Mockingjay. They kind of just left it out. They didn't say anything about, what they were, the fact that Katniss and her dad sung to them, or anything like that. They didn't mention anything at all about Mockingjay. I mean, it was obviously mentioned, but it wasn't, like, explained at all.
Yeah, it was like a random piece of jewelry that didn't mean anything as far as you're concerned if you didn't read the book.
Yeah, exactly. So, go ahead and explain how they could have shown it. They could have done this. This is something they really should have done. Yeah. Otherwise, it's kind of hard to make a second or third movie if you don't have this information.
Yeah. I mean, it's like on the cover. You should really include it.
Okay.
They could have taken, like, such little time. Well, okay. I thought it would be really cool if they went with... If they added to the story that, like, the government banned the Mockingjay because it was basically a failure on their part, the whole thing that happened with them. So it would be really cool if Katniss found it in the black market and she was like, oh, is this the Mockingjay pin? I didn't know they make those. I thought these were illegal. And she bought it, and then when she gave it to her sister, she could have been like, oh, these are a funny story. This is how the government fucked up. I think that would make her feel better about how the government isn't totally in control. So on the first day of reading, maybe that would make her feel better. But if that's too complicated for a 12-year-old, she could have just been like, oh, remember Dad used to sing to them, something like that. At least explain it a little bit. Give it some meaning.
Yeah, I know. They should have. That was one of the bad things about that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a bad scene. It wouldn't be a bad thing for someone that hasn't read the book. A bad scene for someone that what bad thing about the movie that for someone that hasn't read the book, but just in general, would probably be, like you said, the crazy moving cameras.
And the zooming in. You don't need it to be that zoomed in.
I don't know.
Sometimes it's good, but like for some scenes, especially the fighting scenes when there's lots of moving around. Actually, you know what? For the last fighting scene, I think there were 2 zoomed out, and I was just like, wait, which one is Peeta and which one is Kato?
Yeah, or Kato. You know, the names are pronounced differently. But, yeah, that was kind of... I didn't really bother me that much, but it did bother me during, like, the intense scenes. Like, during the fight scenes, I kind of wanted to see what was going on. I can understand, they're running around, whatever. But they really should have did that. And I think the reason why they did that is because if they showed kids getting murdered... actually getting killed, then they would have to edit that out, or it wouldn't be PG-13 anymore if you actually showed the violence. I don't know if I said this already. This is like take 2,
yeah.
So I can't remember if I already mentioned this. But anyway, yeah, that was one thing they probably did that for, but it may bother some of you.
It kind of sucks though, because this whole movie is about a government that is a terrible government, and it controls people to the point where it makes them think that killing kids for entertainment is okay. So that terrible idea is already there. And whether or not you actually see it done out shouldn't really affect it. But then again, ratings are stupid anyway. So that's a problem with that. But it's okay.
Yeah. So that wasn't too bad. But anyway, it could bother some people. It didn't bother me because, it doesn't really bother me that much. But anyway, so what's another thing that we didn't like in general?
Oh, wait, we're doing things that we didn't like? Okay.
Yeah.
I just thought about something I really liked.
Good.
Oh, well, I really liked how they showed everything that had to do with... Wow, this is a really long sentence. I'll start over. I liked...
This is good.
They showed how the people are brainwashed, like how much they really believe in this and how genuine they are. I loved the propaganda film in the beginning, like at the reaping, how they turned such a terrible thing into such a great thing. Like, yes, you should be thankful that you're going to die for your district.
Yeah.
And how Effie, I loved Effie. She's so unlikable. She's perfect. She's looking down and she's like reciting it word for word. She's like, I just love that.
Yes.
And just like little things she says. Oh, and all the people that are just cheering for them.
Oh yeah, they really make it seem like, well, these guys are going crazy over this reality TV show.
They're really into it.
Yeah, it kind of reflects on us, so there you go, like in real life. So anyway, but let's move on to the characters then. Let's move on to the main character.
Okay, I'm ready.
Who is Katniss Everdeen. Now for those who have watched my video, I'm going to take this over now.
Okay.
Those who have watched my videos know that I'm not really fond of Katniss. I make fun of her a lot for being a sociopath and basically being cynical. It's understandable to be realistic at sometimes, but when there's hope involved, it's not okay to just shut everyone down. Perfect example. That is the difference between the movie and the book. And in this movie, they made Katniss seem normal. Not a good thing. Not a good thing. They did sometimes show what she said in the book, but this is bullshit. This is the biggest shenanigans ever. I think that they actually read this in the book and were like, whoa, this is a bitch. We can't have a bitch in our movie. Okay, so this is what happened. Remember the scene? This was in the trailer too. Peeta's like, if I'm gonna die, I just wanna show them that, I'm me. And
why does Peeta have a horror voice?
Okay. Anyway, in the book, okay, Little Miss Sociopath says, yeah, but no offense, Peeta, it's kind of dumb to think like that. I mean, you really can't do anything, so... basically she was shutting him down. Yeah,
and she finishes that conversation with, I'm gonna kill you, basically, right?
Yeah, well, she doesn't say that, but she says, whatever, they end that on a bad note. In the movie, guess what she says? Oh, I understand. Hell no, shenanigans. Okay, I understand. The movie, it's a good character for someone who's read the book. But if you actually think that Katniss is a good character and you've read the book, and you see this scene, try and think about that. How would you feel in that moment if Katniss were to be like, "Oh no, you're stupid, Peeta. Huh? You're hoping that you won't die, and you care about not being broken. You're stupid." You know? Okay, that's why I don't like Katniss, for shit like that. So, for people that hate on me for hating Katniss, well, there you go. So that's something. Overall, though, Katniss is a good character in this movie. You know, she's depicted as a pretty good character. Cares for her sister and everything. In the book, for me, I would say it's different. She's 50-50. You know, she's not really like how that is in the book. But that's mainly because you can't hear her thoughts, her intentions. So.
Yeah. I wonder how it is for someone who hasn't read the book. Like, they're not really sure what she thinks about Peeta. She doesn't know that the first time she saw Peeta, she was like, oh, I'm gonna have to kill this kid. And she doesn't know that, like, she would look at him and be like, oh, he's probably plotting to kill me right now.
Yeah, there was a lot of scenes but I understand that they were kind of rushing it, and, you know, they couldn't put that in there.
Yeah.
So, one thing, though, so let's move on to Haymitch. This is a character as well that they did not portray at all like the book. I hated the actor for Haymitch. Actually, you can watch an interview. If you've read the book and you watch this interview for the guy that plays Haymitch, totally did not read the book. He's like, yeah, the books are like about stuff, and he had no idea what was going on. And in the book, they make him appear as an asshole. You look tired.
I know.
Okay, they make him appear like an asshole, and in the book, I mean, the movie, they make him look like an asshole. In the book, he wasn't really an asshole. He was just drunk and depressed.
Yeah.
So, you know, and they should have included that scene where, you know, Haymitch is like, you know, oh yeah, here's some advice, stay alive. But in the movie, they just said, you know, they made it some dumb line.
They said the opposite of that.
Yeah, and then not only that, you know, that scene where Peeta's like knocks Haymitch's glass and Haymitch punches Peeta, and then Katniss just takes the knife and shoves it on Haymitch's fingers. You know, that was an intense scene that they should have put in the movie. They didn't. They put some parts, but just how it played out. The big thing is Haymitch acknowledged them at that moment. In the book, they were like, "Oh, we acknowledge that I acknowledge that you guys are fighters," but in the movie, he was still an asshole. So anyway, and they didn't include the scene where he falls off the stage.
That would have been a cool introduction. And not only for Haymitch, but for the District 12, how they're not really taken seriously.
So, anyway, who do you want to talk about next? You mentioned Effie, how she's pretty much exactly how she is in the book.
She's awesome. I like her little comments. Oh my gosh, she's just cute. Like, I hate her, but she's cute. Well, let's talk about Gale.
Gale's pretty much, he doesn't get too much shine in this movie.
No, well, neither does he in the book. Like, we find out about him through flashbacks.
We do get to see some of his reactions, like when he wasn't there during the countdown, and when Peeta happened, you know, and they were doing that lovers thing, you know, Peeta, you know, it's like,
Yeah. And, we went to see this movie twice. I don't know if we've told you. But, the first time when they showed Gale's two reactions that were kind of close by, like, together in the movie, the second time they showed Gale being sad, the audience laughed.
Yeah, I can understand why it's funny for most people, because, like, oh, that boy jealous, you know. But, anyway. So, yeah, okay, so Gale was pretty much depicted how he is. There were some pretty cool scenes with that. You know, he took Prim away, and the scene where Katniss and Gale, you know, see each other. And they kind of understand each other. That was pretty cool.
They do. Oh, I love how they're like a team. They have this whole system planned out where, like, he would get them food if she got taken away. And, like, they don't even have to talk. She's just like, I'm okay. And he's like, I know. But she's really not okay. You can hear it in her voice.
Okay, so yeah, they did a good job.
Who else are we leaving out? The mom?
Yeah,
I don't think we talked about her.
We didn't.
Okay.
They did a good job with the mom, showing that she was out of touch with reality. They did a really good job with the mom.
I liked it. I felt bad for her
Yeah.
when she, in that scene where Prim was like, Mom! And she was about to say something, but she was kind of hesitant. And then Katniss comes in and fills the role of the mom. She's like, oh, you look beautiful.
And the mom's like, okay.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what I thought was cute when Prim got called up? she was like really nervous or sad or whatever, and she started tucking the back of her shirt in.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, that's what Katniss does. It probably makes her feel better. That's so cute.
I know, and they did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing too that they did. Well, let's talk about Peeta.
Okay.
One thing I want to talk about is the scene for Peeta's flashback. That scene, if you've read the book, they're supposed to be like 10 years old.
Yeah.
And in the book, I mean the movie, it shows them like how old they are now, which makes no sense because that was supposed to be when she started hunting, started to hunt. Like that was the time where she didn't even hunt at all.
Yeah.
In the flashback, but then she's like the same age, so all of a sudden she got good at hunting all of a sudden? Is that how that happened?
Yeah. And but I guess I kind of liked how, I guess in the movie, the reason that those scenes were there, like they showed it 3 times and each time it was longer, was because I guess she was remembering that. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was good.
It would have been better if she was the right age though.
Yeah, because seriously, they already look like they're 30 something. So
especially Peeta.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, is that how 30-year-olds and is that how 10-year-olds look with that much makeup on their face?
Yeah, and it kind of doesn't make sense that like, remember Peeta's mom went out there and like hit him over the head.
Mm.
It would have made more sense if he was like a little boy that you could push around, but if he's like bigger than you.
I don't know. Yeah, it kind of makes him look like a pushover.
Well, he kind of was when he was 10.
Yeah, but I don't know. So anyway. So, most of the characters we talked about, President Snow definitely did a good job showing how intimidating he is. Some other characters, they really couldn't develop that much, like Foxface. They showed that she was smart, and, with the pushing all the buttons and stuff.
But they didn't really develop her in the book either.
She talked about her a lot, but she was mentioned, like, a little bit.
Yeah.
So, we never learned her name. Learn about, Thresh is pretty cool in the movie. He did his job of being like... It wasn't a stone, though, because that would have probably been too violent. Because in the book, he took a stone over Clove's head and just smashed it into her face. Speaking of Clove...
Yes.
I'm sorry. There's a big mess that they had. They made Cato, whatever they called him, Cato and Glimmer be couples. Like, they made Glimmer and Cato cuddle and all this stuff. But remember in the book, it was Cato and Clove that were close. Remember that scene where, spoiler, Clove died, and Cato was by her side going like, no, don't die on me, or whatever. So, what happened? He was all with Glimmer all of a sudden. That didn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
And I think, too, the District 4 were also career tributes.
I think they were. I don't know where they went.
Yeah, so there weren't any District 4. And in the movie, they were like little kids, so they weren't career tributes at all.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say something.
It's okay. So anyway, they did a good job with a lot of scenes. Obviously, there's a lot we could talk about, but I think we're going to stop here.
Okay.
You look pretty tired. So anyway, that was our review. I hope you liked it, and...
I hope you watch it over and over again. Leave us comments.
Yeah, definitely tell us what you think, and tell us what you thought of the movie.
Yeah.
Alright.